Welcome to PsychSnippets. This is actually a response video to the mile you're in, and the podcast episode he did on mental health awareness. Sorry, brain's a little slow today. Anyway, he talked about a lot of important things, and I thought I'd touch on a few of them because a lot of what he talked about, I learned in great detail in college. So, first off, he talked about the concept that healthy thoughts lead to a healthy life, basically. This is a concept in cognitive behavioral therapy where you change the thoughts, you change the behavior. So this is incredibly important. It helps with family, friends, it helps with your profession. Changing the way you're thinking is paramount to improvement and change in general. So one of the easiest ways to do this is what I call listing. You list, say, 5 negative thoughts you have about yourself, for example, and then you list 5 thoughts you could replace those with that are more positive, if not completely positive, in nature. This is a very useful tool, and it is not anything that requires any special training. You get the list, you keep it with you, and when you have one of those negative thoughts that's on your list, you replace it with the alternative. It's, again, a habit you have to get into. It doesn't guarantee improvement, but it's a start. Then he uses running to aid his mental health, and this is important because physical exercise increases your endorphin levels. Now, endorphin levels are also important because that's your feel-good drugs. You know, if they're out of whack and you get too many of them and your body dumps, you get a massive depressive state. If you don't have enough, you're in this like semi-depressed to completely depressed state because you're not getting enough stimulation to your neuro pathways. Anyway, he also mentioned the fact that it's important to prioritize. You have to recognize when change is important. So inventory what's going on, when change is needed, how to measure what's achieved, and you have to prioritize who you're doing it for. You have to understand your goals. Now, this means that you have to have appropriate goal motivators, which means you're doing it for you or for your family, but not because you want people to like you or because you want to be rich or anything like that. You have to have proper measurements of success, meaning that you aren't setting your expectations too high. And this ties into the fact that if you're using SMART goals, then you're more than likely going to have a more measurable and achievable goal set. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. So that means set a goal that you can actually achieve in a time frame that is realistic to achieve it. You're not going to be a millionaire overnight starting a YouTube channel just because you think it's going to be awesome. Be true to yourself and what you enjoy. Don't be pushed by should. This is another portion of psychology that comes from, is it rational emotive behavioral therapy, I think? It's dealing in irrational absolutes, stating that there's only one way something can be done, and it's not true. Anyone will tell you that there's always more than one answer, and there's more than one method. Look at psychology. We have a lot. Also, breaks are important especially when you're dealing with something you enjoy. Enjoyment also breeds stress, just like negative things do. Positive things breed stress. These things happen because your body needs a break from everything every once in a while. And if you don't take a break for you, you're not going to be of any use to anyone at any time. Support structures. Yes. Support structures are one of the most important things to maintaining and improving your mental health. You need to make sure that You have positive support structures in place. This means people that aren't pushing you to do the negative things in your life that are causing you problems. Okay? And this also means that you have to have someone you can talk to that won't diminish the situation or belittle your emotions for it. You have to gain validation, but at the same time, your support structure can't just be there to coddle you. You have to be prepared to receive hard truths and actual criticism. One of the biggest things that he talked about in the podcast was the fact that there is a heavy stigma attached to talking about mental disorders. And this is incredibly true in many instances. Society does this with regular illness, but especially with mental illness, because crazy is what you get labeled as if you have a mental disorder most of the time by the layman. This is important to understand that crazy is actually a psychosis. That's a detachment from reality. Feeling depressed, having a compulsion disorder, drinking disorder, anything like that doesn't make you crazy. You can get psychosis because of these things, but it is typically not the same thing. Crazy, not a good attribution. Stop it. Anyway, I mentioned consistency in my shorter review. Another thing that he brought up that is very, very important is the fact that being with others, talking to others, being supportive to others, and being around other people does breed positivity, and it's much better when it's in person and not over an electronic connection. I do want to point out, however, that humanity is programmed for alone time as much as it is together time. So, when you need a break from everything, take it to yourself. He mentioned that in this one, in his podcast as well, the fact that you need to take a break for you, and sometimes you just need to escape everything for even just a little bit to maintain your mental health. I just want to say to everyone out there that I hope you are all happy. If you're not, I hope you have some way to find a support structure or get some help for any issues you might be having. I also hope you're healthy, safe, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with other people that need to hear something that was in here. Thanks, guys. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day.